My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. Every week, we break down full UFC fight cards, giving you our picks, our bets, and our fantasy plays. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our content. This video is brought to you by BETU Play to Earn. It is the world's first online play-to-earn sports and esports betting game. Check it out now at betuearn.com. That's bet, the letter U, earn.com. Next up, at UFC Vegas 48, we have David Onama versus Gabriel Benitez. Gabriel Benitez is 22-9 overall. He's 2-3 in his last five, coming off a TKO loss to Billy Quarantillo. David Onama's 8-1 overall. He's 4-1 in his last five, coming off a loss to Mason Jones, where he was taken down 8 times. Gabriel Benitez is a very good kickboxer and specifically has great kicks. And we've talked about this before. The rumors are flying that he's the heaviest kicker at American Kickboxing Academy, because I think it was Javier Mendez was telling everybody that. And he included Cain Velasquez in that. He said, yes, Gabriel Benitez kicks harder than Cain Velasquez does, which is crazy because he's 145 pounds and Cain Velasquez is 245 pounds. It was a solid kicker. All of that aside, he does have great movement. He picks his shots really well, and he does have very real power. His takedown defense is only at 56%, and he may need it in this matchup. He may not, because David Onama is a solid kickboxer. He likes to plot forward. He likes to control the pace. Typically, he doesn't have incredibly high volume, but he is effective. He has had fights, though, like with Sam Hernandez, where he just lets it all go and absolutely lets his hands fly. He's always moving forward. He's slowly cutting off angles, which helps keeps his opponent on their heels. He's got a really long jab. He's constantly throwing it out there, but he does tend to throw just 1 or 2 punches at a time, unless he's in a clinch where he's busy with knees and elbows. You can back him up with volume, and you can keep him out of a rhythm. He can work in some takedowns if needed, and that is a path that we've seen Gabriel Benitez fall under. This should be a really fun fight. We've got two solid strikers who are willing to slug it out. I think Onama has speed, power, and the versatility advantage, but Benitez will have the experience and the grappling advantage. If you dig into Onama's fight, you'll see that even outside of his loss to Mason Jones, where he was taken down 8 times, he does struggle with the grappling, and he gets taken down often. But if he initiates a takedown, he can get that and stay on top. He just can't seem to defend him and can't seem to get up. Onama is a slight favorite here, and I think those odds are correct, because if they get into a slugfest, I think Onama wins a slugfest for sure. But if Gabriel works in his grappling, like he did against Humberto Bandenay, he should win. But the reality is that he does have the grappling tools, but he doesn't use them. He only has one single takedown in the UFC, and I had 11 fights. So 1 takedown in 11 fights in the UFC. So I'm going with Onama to win a kickboxing match, but this could get weird with grappling, because grappling is a path to beat both of these men. We've seen both of them on their backs lose grappling fights, and it will be interesting to see if David Onama goes to some grappling or if Gabriel Benitez needs to, because Onama just hits so hard. Jakey boy, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, this is another guy that I wanted to pick as my lock of the week, Mowgli. A big fan of Mowgli. I was going to go back to my Mexican fighters because they have not failed me yet. Then I started watching David. I'm like, damn, this guy is good. For Mowgli, I think you mentioned it, the leg kicks, the kicks in general, but I think the leg kicks and the experience. David, to me, is a little flat-footed. He's still a little raw, and he doesn't use a lot of head movement. A lot of it's just kind of a high guard where he's relying on that guard. And I think Mowgli's experience, he can get in there. I would get out of the first round. Just if you're Gabriel, just let him do his wild stuff, because I think he's going to come up forward and try to put Mowgli out in the first round. If you're Benitez, just try to get out of the first round and then use your experience, get him up against a cage, kind of wear him down. But in this matchup, I think I'm David all the way. I think he's just the better striker. I think he is a striking matchup, and he's going to have the power and the precision. And that fight that he lost, that was his second fight in 2 weeks. It wasn't like a 2-week notice. He had just fought 2 weeks before, came in and went to a decision. He hung tough in that matchup. He was kind of getting dominated, but he didn't give up. I like the toughness in that matchup, and I think he's going to show what he's actually about in this fight. I think it's tailor-made for him, and I think he wins a fight. So I'm David Onama all the way.
Yeah, it should be interesting. I'm definitely looking forward to it. I mean, look at the worlds of difference in experience between these two guys. $8,400. If you think there's a stoppage, and Gabriel has struggled with longevity in fights recently, so if you think there's a stoppage, $8,400 is absolutely worth it. What do you think of the odds? You gonna place a bet?
Yeah, I could see. I'd probably place a money line on David. I like him.
Yeah, the odds aren't that crazy where it could definitely be worth it. And honestly, David may be a wins inside the distance decision, no action guy. You'll get worse odds than this, but he is durable, and that could account for any Gabriel Benitez, veteran savvy, right? Because Gabriel could pull this out. I mean, we just saw Douglas Silva de Andrade do that last weekend, right? Just veteran savvy, toughness, come from behind and make something happen. And Gabriel could do the same thing. I also like Onama. I hate this strike line, though. I absolutely hate this strike line. I am not touching the monkey knife fight line. What do you think?
And I definitely feel like it's a less. That 56 kind of throws me off. I don't like that number.
Yeah, it's definitely less on Onama. 56 is so smack dab in the middle. It's a hard call to make. If you want 50 free bucks, that's an easy call to make. Go to wewantpicks.com/bets. Sign up with any one of our 5 betting partners. Make a deposit. Let me know after you do, and I'll send you 50 bucks.